Is this thing on? Oh, hi. She's back. Hi. Welcome to my channel. Sorry I've been gone for so long, but I'm here and I'm back and I'm really happy about that, to be honest. Yeah. I have a lot of explaining to do, don't I? I just first off, I just want to say sorry again for being gone for so long. Life ended up getting a little hectic for me. If I'm very honest with myself, my mental health took a bit of a hit. It's something that I've struggled with since the dawn of time, I think. I came out the womb and I was depressed. But no, in all seriousness, it is something that I've definitely struggled with throughout my life. And sometimes I just need to take a step back and really, I don't know, do a sheet mask. That doesn't solve all my problems, but yeah, I don't know. I really needed to take some time and recollect myself, and just reset and remind myself why I started doing this in the first place. I think that's super important for myself. But you know, even with me being away though, I cannot believe that we've hit 80 subscribers. That is literally like insane to me, considering I started this about 2 months ago. Again, I mentioned it before, small potatoes, but those potatoes are kind of big actually. That's actually kind of huge. Like, I'm just really happy, and one, I'm proud of myself. Two, I'm just incredibly grateful for this community for supporting me. I really didn't think that this would happen, to be honest. So it's absolutely wild to me. I started this channel as like a passion project just to prove to myself that I could create something I love and make it a real hobby. And somehow you all showed up and supported it, even when I was doubting myself. So I appreciate that more than you will ever know. I appreciate all the kind comments on my videos. I really do. I read them and I show my brother and my husband and I'm like, look, these people care. And even just the folks who, you know, are still showing up and checking on me. I saw that comment from someone on my post and that really touched my heart. Again, here I am crying on one of my builds. What's new? And yeah, it just, I just didn't think that I could get to this place where there are folks out there who really care and see me. So I appreciate that. It's done a ton of good for my mental health, so thank you. And you know what? Let me just say something. I won't lie, part of the reason I also struggled to come back was because I was worried. I was worried about my next build. What if it flops? What if it doesn't meet the standards of what people want to see? Like, that pressure really started seeping in and getting to me, which is just insane because, again, I had to take a step back and remind myself why I started this. And it's for my own fun, for my own creativity, and just because I purely enjoy doing this. I love doing this. So I'm getting back to those roots. I'm trying not to stress. I'm trying not to overthink. I'm just building and enjoying the process and sharing it all with you. And yeah, I'm just, again, grateful to have this little community here that appreciates that. So thank you for being here, for watching, and for supporting me. It really means the world. And yeah, anyway, let's get into the build. I hope that was enough to say I'm sorry. I hope you understand that I'm not trying to be absent, and I really do want to push forward with this channel. It's, again, I'll get off my soapbox, like I said. Let's get back to the build. Today, we are here in Copperdale. This place kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't like building here. The lighting is weird. I get that it's supposed to have some, like, I don't know, Twilight vibes or something. Like, the lighting, you might need to lean into that. But like I said, though, we're here in Copperdale. We're building Pop and Locks. You get it? It's a vibrant, like, youthful hair salon in Copperdale. is what I'm thinking, with an apartment upstairs for the owners. And obviously the name is a little play of the words, tying in the dance. Like, have you heard the pop, lock, and drop it? I'm sure you have. If you haven't, then maybe go look. No, you don't need to look it up. But yeah, the dance, pop, lock, and drop it. The pops of color throughout the salon. I have a very like pink, green, orange, greenery type feel with like those terracotta titles. I just thought it made sense. And then of course hair locks. So yeah, just cute little name. I was proud of it, so I thought I would share it of where my head went with that. And I actually had the idea of building a hair salon before the businesses and hobbies pack even dropped. And now that it's here, I finally fleshed out the concept. I'm a little late to the business and hobbies train, but you know what? Hey, I'm on the train now. So here is my build for that debut. I had this all planned out, and of course, it got wrecked by my brain, but that's okay. When I decided to build in Copperdale, I thought this should be a place where young teens would love to come, right? It's a high school expansion pack, so I thought you'd have a lot of teens running around, and I wanted something a little fresh, a little fun, a little edgy. And honestly, I feel like hair salons are like such a rite of passage for so many teenagers. I remember being young, like a young teenager, and going through all sorts of hair struggles. I have like 3B, 3C curly type pattern hair, and it was so hard finding someone to do my hair the right way where I could really embrace my curls. So I went through a whole journey with my hair of frying it, so like straightening it when it's wet, cutting it. I did the whole I think Rihanna had like red hair at one point, and so then I tried to do strips of red hair. It just wasn't, you experiment, you do a bunch of bad decisions, whether that's like a big chop or cutting your own like straight across bangs, you just ruin your hair during that time. Sometimes, if you have good, loving parents, sometimes they'll guide you in the right way. But also, if you have good, loving parents, sometimes they let you express that creativity. So there's that. Let me shut my mouth on that. But yeah, we've all had that moment where we've wrecked our hair and had to live with the consequences. But in a way, that's honestly how you find your true style. You have to experiment. You have to mess up. And that's just how you grow into yourself. So I thought, what better build to place this than Copperdale and have it be this kind of teen spot where I imagine young teenage girls, but honestly anybody could come here to get their hair done. So yeah, that's the vibe for this salon, and it was super fun to build. The only thing that really pissed me off were the windows. They had some glitch going on, so anytime you zoomed out, there was like that red frame, and it just really pissed me off. So I changed that at the end, and I used those styling chairs from the Get Famous pack to have as like a hair salon chair. I didn't want to use any CC in this build. I wanted it to be completely, well, it's semi-functional. I wanted it to be completely functional. You just have to do a lot of work to get it to work right. Unfortunately, the Business and Hobbies pack does not have like a salon function. I didn't know that. I didn't have early access or any foresight into what this pack would include. I just figured, maybe they might have this. I thought it'd be a fun idea. But they don't. So you kind of have to do a bit of work, such as like when people do come to your business, you do have to greet them, and then that way you can offer them styling services by clicking on the chair. But yeah, you do have to greet them. You do have to do an introduction in order for them to pop up in that prompt that comes up when you offer styling services. So if you're okay with that, if you're okay with doing some of the legwork of the business, then this will function for you. And we've also put some massage chairs in there next to the sinks to kind of look like a wash sink, but you could also still use it as a functional massage chair, so it will still work. And then I went ahead and sized up some of those debug food platter things. I'm sure you saw it a little bit before. Right now it's not showing that. To kind of look like those hair dryers. when you sit down at the chair. So those aren't functional, unfortunately. Sorry. They're just there for kind of like show and to look nice. But Sims will sit there, so you could just pretend. And then here we're doing like a coloring table. So whenever you go to a salon, there's always like a station where they have a bunch of like paints or not paints, but like dye and like shampoos and whatnot. So I wanted to have kind of a station for that. And then I put kind of the messy paint canisters around on the tables to show like, oh, this is the dye that they're using, right? So anyway, that was a little bit about the build. And that's pretty much all that I really wanted to do, was have it be at least semi-functional. And the businesses and hobbies pack lets you do that to a degree. Your employees will mainly just clean here, unless you of course employ someone in your household. Then you can also have them do some styling services, so then it can look like you have some more folks at the chairs doing the hair salon services. All that to say, again, CC free. If you want this, it's on the gallery. And my EA tag, my EA ID, my gallery ID, I don't know. I need to get that right. It's flooploopsbuilds. So if you want to find it, download it, you can. It's on the Copperdale map on the lot. I think it's called like the Town Square something. Town Square Terrace. It's right up top. You can see it if you want to place it there. If not, you can place it wherever you'd like and just tailor it to your own liking. And fully customize this build if you want to. It doesn't have to stay this way. I just thought that this would be a cute design for this area and for the concept that I had. So anyway, let's move on to the owners. We have Mimi Glossman and Meili Ratanapong. They are the heart of this build. Mimi and Meili met in cosmetology school and they totally hit it off. They fell in love over late night study sessions, practicing on mannequin heads, you name it, they did it, and they fell in love through the process. And for Mimi, I think owning the salon has always been her dream. She worked really hard and worked her way up to building her skills and making connections. And when the opportunity came, she opened the place in Copperdale. She took it. She loves this place. It is her baby. It is her passion, and she puts her whole heart into it every day. Meili, on the other hand, she kind of has a different journey. She's originally from Tamarang, and she left her family and her home to move to Copperdale with Mimi. It was a big step for her, but I think that she's just madly in love with Mimi and said, no doubt about this, I'm coming with you, right? Even though she deeply misses her culture, her family and life that she left behind. So that's why I gave her the child of the village trait as well, to reflect that pull that she still feels towards home. But she definitely came and said, we went to school together. I can open the salon with you and help you out. I think over time, though, it just wasn't what her heart wanted, and so she actually went back to school, and she is enjoying the artistry of the salon and doing hair, but she went back to school to do interior design. So you'll see that reflected in the apartment upstairs as well. So she's finding her own path now. She's balancing life in the salon with her studies, and while it's not always easy for her, she knows she's making the right choice for herself, and Mimi completely supports it and appreciates her help. So eventually Mimi's gonna hire someone else to help her out. But even with the shift, Meili and Mimi, they still have a really strong relationship. They support each other. And a little bit more about the build. I'm just placing some items here now. I imagine you would have a broom and a dustpan in your salon for all the hair bits. I put that little certificate there thinking like, okay, that's probably their cosmetology license. And you probably saw that I put towels over by the coloring station. And I did like the black shade. I imagine that's kind of like the cape that you would put around someone when you're doing their hair. So I just thought that would be nice as to kind of have as an imagination piece. And then we move on to the break room. That's what it's called. The break room was just pretty basic. It was really easy to make. I just wanted something for folks to come in and get like their morning coffee or heat up their lunch on their break. So yeah, it's real basic. I didn't put any pizzazz in here. I don't know if you have ever seen a break room with a lot of pizzazz. So I really wanted to capture that. It's just a plain Jane kind of room. I do put a table and a TV above the fridge. I imagine that, you know, when you're on break, you might want to watch something. And then I also put I think it's not Growing Together. It's the Parenthood pack. I don't know the name. I put that little like scheduling thing, like family scheduling board up by the sink as well. And I think that just kind of acts as like the scheduling for the different workers here, like when they'll be on shift or if they need to add any notes of what to do for the day. I think that would be there. And then now we move on to the apartment upstairs. This is where Mimi and Maylee live. Here's my thinking with this apartment. I think that they probably still rent this apartment. I don't think they own this. I think they also still lease the salon downstairs. They've just been able to put a lot of their personality and decor in the salon and modify it. I imagine that this apartment is probably owned by an older gentleman, and he's really nice, but he's still a landlord nonetheless. And, you know, I think the rent is maybe a little high here, but I think they manage. I don't think it's crazy expensive. I also think that this was probably renovated in the early 2000s, which I wanted to kind of show with the different wood tones, like the orangey wood tones that you'd see, the beige walls. I don't know, this screams like early 2000s apartment to me, especially with like the carpet and just the way it has a warm orangey tone to everything. But they've definitely tried to make it their own where they could. I don't think they could modify this apartment a whole ton. I think that they just added plants and their own little personal touches everywhere. I imagine that Maylee is probably more of the green thumb. I think Mimi likes plants. I just don't think that she's keeping them alive. I think that she enjoys the aesthetic of plants, but Maylee is definitely the one who is watering and tending to the plants. I do a pretty crap job at keeping plants alive. I pretend that I have a green thumb, but I really don't. Honestly, I buy plants at the local like Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever, which already strike number one. Why am I not shopping at like a nursery? Like the Home Depot Lowe's plants are not healthy usually. So strike one, and then strike two, I bring them home and I pretend to water them and care for them. But honestly, my husband does a lot of that behind the scenes. So I take his credit. He does the work. I take the credit. Anyway, moving on from that. We're in the living room now. I don't usually build with carpet. I do like this carpet though, this new base game carpet. I like that it's low pile. It's versatile. The only thing that I wish it had more of were swatches. It feels kind of limited with the swatches, to be honest. And some of these like this brown is nice, like this kind of neutral beigey brown color is nice, but I would have loved to see like some warmer browns, just some more swatches. But I do like how versatile that carpet is. I think it could be used in a lot of builds, and here we are doing it now. And I actually used the white swatch of the carpet on the ceiling. Look, I know, I get it. You don't want to look up and see carpet in your house, but can we just pretend? It kind of looked like popcorn ceiling to me, and that was kind of the vibe I wanted for this. Like it just screamed like older build. So there is carpet on the ceiling. Just pretend that it's popcorn ceiling, please. Anyway, I like this living room a lot. I like the orange wood furniture. I think that Mimi's mom probably passed it down to Mimi. She probably bought it from like Ashley Furniture in the 90s, if you know what I mean, like that look. And you know, it's just something you would see like in a garage sale or something. And Mimi took it and said, yep, we'll have it. I don't have a ton of money to buy fancy furniture. And then we also include some cat items, obviously, for Pixie and Bob. Pixie is a menace. She's literally a menace. She has like scratched up the walls on that half wall and by the cat tree. So bye to their security deposit. They're not getting that back thanks to Pixie. She's a menace. Bob, angel, sweet angel baby. He just sleeps all day and eats. What a great cat. But they love their cats. They do. I think that Maylee and Mimi probably don't have a ton of friends in Copperdale since they've moved from whatever city they were in. I can't even really imagine what city they came from. I just know it was probably a lot more vibrant than Copperdale, and now that they're in Copperdale, they don't have a ton of friends. I think Mimi is super magnetic and fun, but yeah, it's just she doesn't have a lot of friendships that are like really meaningful. So yeah, you know, they will take the pros and cons of Pixie and Bob. But, you know, regarding the whole friendship thing, I don't really see Mimi and Maylee moving anytime soon. Mimi has her salon and she's really loving it, and it was really fun to build. I had fun with the business and hobbies expansion pack, but I really had to make the business and hobbies pack work for this apartment. It was kind of frustrating that my cats would come down to the salon. Not that I think anyone would really mind if that happened, but it was frustrating to just see them kind of like running around in the salon. So I definitely had to lock the doors, lock them in the house, which was unfortunate. And also there are times where Maylee and Mimi will go downstairs to use like one of the chairs or to use like a counter to cook food on when they have counters up here in their apartment. So that was quite frustrating. I don't know really how to fix that or how to have that business separate from like their living space. Obviously you can do the little room type filter, but I don't know. I did that. It just didn't seem like it was working the way that I thought it may have, and that was quite frustrating. But I think you just have to work around that and lock the doors, which is quite manual, but if it's what you gotta do, it's what you gotta do to have a bit more like realistic gameplay. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing this build. I have so many other builds in the pipeline that I cannot wait to start building out and pushing out to you all. I think they're just really fun, fresh, exciting ideas, at least to me. I don't know. They might not be to you, but I'm enjoying them, so that's what matters, and I can't wait to push those out to you. And I hope it's received well and you all enjoy them just as much as I enjoyed building them. But we're getting close to the end of this build. Again, very basic apartment. I didn't have a lot of personal style in these rooms, and especially the bedroom I cut out at the very end because I'm just like, it's not giving what I wanted it to give. And then I also didn't have the business and hobbies expansion pack downloaded yet. So I built this before the pack dropped. And then as soon as I got that pack and downloaded it, I saw all the new items, and I of course incorporated some items into the apartment. So you'll see some of those changes during the video tour. But that's it. That's all I got for you today. I hope you really enjoyed this build. It was so much fun hanging out with you all again and just sharing what I've been going through and how this build has come about. I cannot wait to be back again. Maybe not this Friday, we'll see. I'm learning to be okay with it shifting. So we'll see when, but I'm aiming for Friday, and that's what matters. But anyway, if you like this video, please give it a like, a thumbs up, please comment. I love reading your comments and reaching out to you all. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe if you want more content. I try to upload as often as I can, usually every Friday. But anyway, I'll let you all go now. Bye, loves.